Good evening. We're delighted that everyone is coming to the Easton Lions' first ever annual celebration of Easton. It's our attempt to honor community service and civic participation. Thank you very much for coming. I'm Gary Creighton. I'll be the master of ceremonies this evening, and I will be ably assisted, hopefully, by John Morgan. I will be assisted, hopefully, ably. Folks, we have three goals this evening in our presentation. First, we'd like to raise some money. We have an auction over there. We have an auction online. Anyone who wants to log on, we have computers in the back of the room. We hope you'll bid high, bid often, and bid a lot, because we can use the money and we distribute it wisely. Second, we want to tell you what we do with the money that you guys donate to the Lions Club. This evening, we'll have 12 different beneficiaries of our funding talk about what they do in town. About half the Lions funding goes to iResearch, and half stays local. The local stories are fascinating, and you'll hear 12 of them this evening. And third, we hope some of you will find what we do here interesting and will consider joining the Lions Club. If you're interested, talk to any of the Lions here, come to one of our meetings to check us out, or go to our website and have a look. So those are our three goals. We want to make some money, we want to tell you where the money that we raise goes, and we hope some of you will join with us. So welcome, we're delighted that you're here, and I hope you have a very nice evening. With that, I am going to introduce our president, Lori Maver, who's going to give her opening remarks.
Thank you, Gary. So a lot of you know who I am, but for those who don't, I am Lori Maver. This year I was fortunate enough to be the president of the Easton Lions Club. My mantra for the year has been the year of change. Some might be familiar that even the holiday festival, whole different format. And now we're approaching this auction ending in a whole different format. And so far, from what I'm seeing, we've had great success. And without the folks that are running the auction, Gary and John and everybody behind the scenes, this wouldn't be possible, and it definitely wouldn't be possible without all of you. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for helping us make this change in our event and celebrating Easton with us and celebrating what we do with all the money that we raise goes right back out into the community, and I'm just loving it. I'm loving what I'm seeing. So enjoy the evening, and as Gary said, bid high, bid often. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Lori. You guys don't have to clap all the time. You'll get tired. So the first half hour, we are going to learn about Hope, the House of Possibilities. There's good video about Hope. We're going to have a live interview with people from Raising Multicultural Kids. And third, we're going to learn about the Ames Free Library, a live interview taking place on stage number 2. Interspersed, John Morgan will be auctioning off some items. One other introductory comment. If anybody would like soda, we have a free soda service over there. It is absolutely free, but we would like you to make a donation into our donation bar. But there's a lot of soda. John, take it away.
Thank you very much, Gary. Appreciate that. You're probably picking up on part of the theme here, and that is we want to lighten your wallets tonight. And we're going to do that through a couple of persuasive ways, one of which is this auction that we're doing. The auction's been up on Bidding for Good website. They're a facilitator to the Easton Lions Club. You get there through our website. We welcome you to use your phones, use a tablet, and there are some laptops in the back of the room. And if you find yourself laptop challenged, we've got some folks over there who will walk you through the process of getting online and bidding on the items. The items are displayed, some of which along the back of the room on the, I guess would be the south side of the room on the tables, as well as displayed on paper hung along the wall there. So the way we're going to do this is at every half hour, we are going to extinguish a group of items being bid online through the auction process. And that way at the end of the night at 8:30, we'll have closed out everything that's on the Bidding for Good site. So the first wave of those will take place at 7 p.m. and we will close out the bidding on any items that are on the site that are $50 and under. So if you've had your eye on those items, if you've been watching them or bidding on them, please feel free to check. You may have turned on the Bidding for Good messaging service that reminds you if your bid has been upped. So if not, you can turn that feature on. So feel free to bid high and bid often. If there are any questions, again, we'll have some friends who are tech savvy helping you out there in the back.
Thanks, John. So first up this evening, let me introduce Katie Torino, the Executive Director of HOPE, the House of Possibilities. Katie's going to introduce their video. We have a 5-minute video about them that's going to be playing in just a second. That's a good one. We're not too organized.
Good evening. On behalf of the House of Possibilities community, I want to express our sincere thanks and appreciation to the Easton Lions Club for providing this platform to raise awareness about our organization and all the important work being done right here in Easton. I will let the video tell you more about HOPE, and in the meantime, invite you to join us in our mission to provide support and opportunities for individuals with disabilities and their families. We are always looking for volunteers, financial support, and local organizations to partner with. You can learn more at our website, houseofpossibilities.org. And finally, we invite you all to consider attending or supporting our upcoming annual gala. It's Raise the Roof on April 30th at the Blue Hills Country Club in Canton. And this event, it raises 30% of the revenue needed to support our organization on an annual basis. Every attendee, sponsorship, ad, and donated item counts towards helping us to reach our goal. So thank you for your attention. We welcome you to come see our house in action anytime, and we hope you enjoy our video and the rest of your evening.
My name is Katie Torino, and I am the Executive Director of the House of Possibilities here in Easton on 350 Washington Street. We are a service provider for children, teens, and adults with disabilities, and we run programs 7 days a week on a corner of the campus of Stonehill College. During the week, we offer day habilitation, community-based day support, and employment services for adults 5 days a week from 9 to 3. On the weekends, we offer overnight respite for children, and we offer social and recreational programs for children and adults. House of Possibilities is one of the only known providers of overnight respite for children with disabilities in Massachusetts and beyond. And we have children coming to our program from over 58 communities in Massachusetts as far as 60 miles away. So this is Hope's Chef's Kitchen, and a lot of action happens here. On Mondays, we have a snack group. On Thursdays, we have a cooking group in our adult program, and that cooking group prepares a meal for the entire house and any guests who might join us on Thursdays.
I cut veggies, I cut salads, I make pasta, I make meatballs. I do all the stuff. Yeah, in the summer, we go vegetables and we carry it over here. Food is good. Food is love. We say manja manja, eat, eat.
Do you want to do some Zumba before you do that? You can jump in. Absolutely.
We're at the Conway Family Gym. This is where we work out. We have a treadmill, a stairmaster, a bike.
Folks, today are working on a couple of different baking activities. What are you making here?
It's our project.
And what's it going to be when you're done? Not sure yet?
Like a fishbowl or something.
What do we call this? Our Mod Podge collage?
And action! Hello, I'm Ray from Raynham, Massachusetts. I came here from House of Possibilities. We do Meals on Wheels on Mondays, Chair Fit Yoga on Tuesdays, Wednesdays we do sound meditation, and Fridays we do Best Buddies.
On the weekends, we'll have children stay here on Friday and Saturday nights, giving parents a full 42 hours of respite. And what we know is that having that break and that opportunity for caregivers to take care of their family and their personal needs makes all the difference. We have not found any other facility that offers this in New England and beyond. And the need is so great. We have 2 singles and 2 quads. We really try to frame the overnight respite as a sleepover, so it's a fun activity and it's a chance to practice social skills. One of the things that House of Possibilities is really known for is that we are truly a community-based program. Our day hab participants will get into the community at least once a day. That is very different from a lot of other day hab programs. Our #1 value is community integration and being part of the greater community around us. 50 plus volunteers a week will come into Hope. There isn't a lot of particular background or training that folks come in with, but we have a really robust training program. Our big initiative in the coming year is gaining employment for our members, and part of that is developing relationships with local businesses and organizations and creating meaningful jobs here in the Easton. So Miss Evelyn has been here since the beginning of our day programs, 9 years now. And on the side, Evelyn is an advocate and she speaks at public schools about her disability.
I do exercising. I use my walker to walk around the building without just hanging out with my friends. And when I first walked in, I'm like, I can't believe how big this house is. I should just live here. And I'm like, I was just totally amazed, and the staff is so nice to me and so supportive.
So on behalf of everyone here at the House of Possibilities, we want to thank the Lions for their ongoing support and enthusiasm.
Thank you, Lions! Thanks very much, Katie. Do you have anything to say? And the House of Possibilities, the first of our 12 beneficiaries that we're honoring this evening. I hope you guys can understand the breadth of activities taking place in Easton and the amount of benefit that our community gains from these various beneficiaries. John, you got?
No, I think I do, my friend. I want to talk up a little bit more about what's going on tonight with our auction options and what's available to you. Let me offer a couple of administrative reminders to you, if I may. You'll want to make sure you've turned on your text message alerts on your mobile device so that you can get text messages from the Bidding for Good site. If you're on a computer or device, you want to log on to B4G, select on your account. Of course, you needed to register in order to be able to bid on the site. And you're going to see along the left sidebar an opportunity to select text messages. You want to click on that box to enable receiving text messages when you're outbid, and then enter your cell phone number as well. So with that, I want to point out to folks some of the things that are being bid tonight, just to give you some introduction as to what some of the key items are. The folks over at Buddy's Union Villa have been annual sponsors of ours, and they donate one of the most sought-after items. People start asking me about 3 months ago, are you going to have the pizzas this year? Well, yeah, we do. The folks at Buddy's Union have given us 3 cheese pizzas a week for 1 year. So that's got a retail value. Thank you. They absolutely deserve applause for that. Just tremendous generosity. That's got a retail value of $1,332. And of course, Buddy's Union Villa is a long-established landmark on 138. And the donation that they're offering us is very much appreciated. Thank you so much, Karen and the team at Buddy's Union Villa. We also want to talk about Dr. Mark Halverson. He has donated 2 $1,000 gift certificates toward orthodontic services. This has been something Dr. Halverson has donated at least for the 26 years I know of I've been in the club. And very much appreciated, and those always do very well. So thank you, Dr. Mark, for that.
All right, thanks very much, John. Our next beneficiary, after learning about the House of Possibilities, is Raising Multicultural Kids. So I'm going to turn this over to Doug O'Rourke from the Easton Lions, and I think I see 2 lambs over there on stage number 2. Doug, take it away.
Thanks, Gary. Hi, my name is Doug O'Rourke, and I'm a member of the Easton Lions Club. I also work as a business analyst for CF Data Systems in Weymouth. I sit on the Board of Trustees for Oaks Ames Memorial Hall, and I'm a member of the Easton Cultural Council. Now, I'm a relatively new member of the Easton Lions Club. I've been involved with the organization for about a year. And when I first moved to Easton about a year and a half ago, one of the biggest things that impressed me about this town was the sense of community. Folks here made me feel very welcome, made me feel at home, and I decided I wanted to give back to my community. I talked to various people in town and I said, where can I best put my time and my energy into giving back to the community? And the big thing that everybody said was the Easton Lions Club. So I looked into the Easton Lions Club, I became a member, and the Easton Lions Club is really a powerhouse that does big good. And they support a lot of organizations in town that also do big good. And one of those organizations is called Raising Multicultural Kids. So a couple of months ago at a regular meeting, I had the opportunity to hear from the founders of this organization, and their story was amazing, compelling, and it really touched me. And I'd like to introduce Kelly and Andy Lamb from Raising Multicultural Kids. Welcome. Andy, why don't you tell us a little bit about your family?
Sure. So I grew up in Easton, and I'm happy to hear that you had the experience of being welcomed into the community and having that feeling, which is kind of why we want to do this organization, so that everybody can feel the same way. So the way we got to where we are today is Kelly and I, we created our family through adoption. All three of our girls were adopted through foster care. Our oldest is half Dominican, our middle one is half Cape Verdean, and our youngest is 100% Dominican. So she is very dark, very much looks like she's black, and that's our family. And so going through the Easton school system, growing up, it wasn't even a thought for me, but as our youngest went into kindergarten, she experienced 3 separate racial incidents just in kindergarten alone, with the last being she was introduced to the N-word on her last day of kindergarten. And throughout the year, you know, we had talked to her about different things that we could do to help her, and that's kind of how things started off.
So Kelly, can you tell us, how did Multicultural Kids get started?
So yes, as the incidents started to accumulate, we started to ask each other, like, what can we really do? How can we help prevent these things from happening to our daughter and other kids like her? And how do we best support her? So we reached out and we were talking to the school, and they were wonderful in handling each incident, and they really wanted to engage, and they wanted help from parents in the community. So I reached out on actually the Easton Moms Facebook page and asked, you know, people in the community if they could come and help with our efforts. And I had an overwhelming response. Over 30 families reached out and said they wanted to be part of this conversation with the superintendent. And that's really how we began. We weren't planning on forming our own group, but so many people were interested that we decided to become our own nonprofit so we can dedicate resources to basically helping our kids become racially and culturally competent. Because it's not only important to support our kids of color, but it's also a really important skill for our white students. As they grow and go into the workplace, they're going to be in more diverse environments, they're going to be marketing products globally, so it's really, really important that they know how to navigate different cultures, and that they have the skills to be able to have these hard conversations about race and racism.
So what have you been able to accomplish so far? What are your goals going forward?
So our youngest, the thing that she said she wanted the most was she wanted a brown teacher in her classroom. And she just wanted everyone to stand in a circle and hold hands and see that it was okay for her to be brown. So we went to the school and we asked, can we get a brown teacher in her classroom? And they said, we don't have any. And it's a problem actually in all of Massachusetts. 92% of teachers are white, so it's not just here in Easton. And our percentage of white teachers is even higher than that. So we decided to get creative in problem solving that, and the school was excellent in working with us. So we had a high schooler go down into the lower elementary and spend time in her classroom 1 hour a week. And that Thursday became her favorite day. She absolutely loved it, and it was tremendously beneficial to her. So this year we expanded that program, and we now have 15 classrooms that have multicultural students in there supporting the teacher and the kids.
So not only are the students of color having a mirror, you know, for themselves, but it's also great for our white students to have the diversity in the classroom, for them to see that in front of them as somebody, you know.
Black leadership.
Leadership, absolutely.
That's amazing, and it's really paving the way for other families in the community too. So Thank you so much for all the good that you do in this community. It's the story is just amazing. The fact that you've put this amount of work into it. What can we as a community do further to help you?
Well, we are having an event May 9th. It's called Walking in My Shoes. We have some community members coming and talking about what it's like to live in their skin. You know, these are your friends, these are your neighbors, these are stories from people next door. It's not, you know, something happening down south. And I think it'd be really great to come out and listen to what they have to say. That's May 9th. It's going to be at the Unity Church. And we are also trying to raise money to gift multicultural book baskets to all of our teachers. We'd like to give them 10 to 12 books per classroom that help them talk and teach hard history, teach kids about race and racism. And we're developing a guide to go with it to help give the teachers lessons plans and guidance as well.
That would be age appropriate for each grade.
Excellent. So where can folks in the community learn more about you, and how can they contact you?
You can check out our website. We have events every month, www.raisingmulticulturalkids.com. You can also follow us on Facebook. RMK Easton is our tag. But yeah, come to our meetings. They're once a month, or you can donate money online or on Facebook.
The community has been phenomenal. I mean,
so
from
the school system.
Yeah, the Easton Lions, other members of the community, the school system, the support we're getting from the superintendent on down throughout the school system, the town itself, people have just come out in droves to really support this effort.
Good, good. Well, thank you for the work that you do, and I hope you have continued success. And I guess we're back to Gary.
Thanks very much, guys. Yeah. It's terrific. As we go through the evening, we hope that some of you will think of friends or colleagues or neighbors who can benefit from some of the services that our beneficiaries provide. Or if you're looking for a place to volunteer, these might be some good opportunities for you. All right. While our next group is setting up, while the library is getting ready, I want to thank some of the sponsors for this evening's event. Our lead bank sponsor, the Northeastern Savings Bank. Thank you very much. I saw some bankers here somewhere. Hello. Oh, back in the corner. Okay, great. We also have a whole slew of gold sponsors: Douglas King Builders, Attorney Dan Vieira, Travis Rhodes, Rockland Trust, Bank of Easton, Harbor One, and Wykert Realty, Briarwood Real Estate, and the Chamber of Commerce have also donated very generously. We appreciate all of the donations. Next up, Rich, are we ready? All right, we're going to learn about the Ames Free Library from Rich Chemlinski and Marion Wingfield.
Well, hi, everybody. I'm Rich Chemlinski, proud to be a member of the Easton Lions Club, and I'm also a retired judge, tax commissioner at the Massachusetts Appellate Tax Board. Tonight, we're very delighted to have with us Marion Winfield, who is the development manager of the Ames Free Public Library. She is an absolute wealth of knowledge, especially when it comes to community service, community events, and curriculum. So we're absolutely delighted to have Marion with us tonight. And Marion, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Marion, will you just quickly tell us what you do as developmental manager for the Ames Free Public Library?
Yeah, I'm a really tiny part of the library, but I do raise money for the library, raise money in every way that I can. I totally believe in the library. It's probably one of the most exciting institutions I've ever been involved with, and I've been involved with a lot of museums. My previous profession was museum professional. I did museum education. However, the library excites me and inspires me, and I was reviewing some of the interesting things about it. Do you have any questions before I go off on this?
Well,
go on, sorry.
Well, Marion, how about just a quick thumbnail sketch of what the community events are at the Ames Free Public Library?
All right, so 120,000 people come through our doors each year to partake of 1,000 free programs that are community-driven and free. Now, that's an amazing resource, and probably most of you know because we bragged about it so much, but the library, the Ames Free Library, has placed second twice for the Bill and Melinda Gates and Library Journal Best Small Library in the country. That is an amazing accomplishment, and And I take no credit for any of it. I just raise money, but I am very aware that the library does so much that I can't keep track of it. 1,000 programs a year, and one of the things that when we took over the library years ago from an older librarian, is that we wanted it to be the place where the community connects, and that is exactly what it is. So we do have all kinds of programs. You can, of course, borrow books, but you can also take advantage of so many free resources. Just go online, you can borrow everything. We even have a library of things. And to refer to your question about community, we have so many groups, I don't think we have time to go through, but we have a film club that's curated by Ed Hands. We have the Friends of the Library, which Janice Narsasian is a part of. We have beaters, quilters, all kinds of maker spaces for people. We have a dance group, book clubs of every description, author talks, authors in residence, artists in residence. We have a cookbook club, a Lego club. We have teen programs. We have baby programs. We have toddler programs. We have huge summer programs for families.
Well, Marion, why don't you pick one or two of your favorites and tell us briefly about them? Maybe the Queeset House or summer reading program?
Yep. The Queeset House is amazing. We bought it several years ago when we were not able to expand the library as we had hoped to. And we have turned it into the Learning Commons at Queeset. Somebody left us some money in town, and we made it a Learning Commons, which means we established a digital media lab, a podcasting studio. It is wired. We have internet. We have all kinds of technological things you can do there. You can take your VHS tapes and convert them into DVDs. But the main thing about the library, and I will say, is it is community driven. So our talks, our programs are all from you, and they are all free. Everything you can do at the library is free.
Marion, my favorite are the library passes. I recently toured the Whaling Museum down in Fall River. Maybe just tell us briefly about those museum passes.
Well, they're like gold. We have 30 museum passes that you can sign out of the library, and you go in and you only pay about $10 for a museum, which is incredible. I mean, you know what museums cost these days, and you can go online and sign one out. The Lions Club has steadfastly, faithfully supported our most popular pass, which is the Museum of Science, which, that gets used all the time. So if you want to go to a museum with your family, you should just go online and look for the museum program.
And how about future events coming up? Is anything coming up immediately in the next 2 to 4 weeks?
Let's say there's something coming up immediately on Friday night, Friday the 13th. We're having our 5th annual Irish pub, and this year we're calling it Curse of the Leprechaun because it's on Friday the 13th. And please join us. We have some tickets left. It's a blast. We have wonderful Irish musicians who will be coming and performing. We have a whiskey tasting. And we have the Shoveltown Brewery coming. It should be a really fun event.
Oh, thanks so much, Marion. That was absolutely fabulous. I think it's now John Morgan's time to close out the first group of auction items, if I'm correct. So we'd like to turn it back over to our auctioneer, John.
Thanks,
Thank
Rich.
you.
Rich and Marion, thank you so very much. We've got quite a gem with that library, the Ames Free Library, which has been bringing value to this town for many, many years. At 7 o'clock, we're going to close out the first wave of auction items. Those are items that are valued up to and including $50. So you've got about 1 minute, 10 seconds to go on to the website. Of course, if you're going online here in this building, it's the Richardson Olmsted website, and the password is EPS guest, all lowercase, and that'll get you onto the internet here in the building. And just want to highlight one other donor to our auction, and those are our friends at the Museum of Science. We've got a number of passes to the exhibit halls, the butterfly gardens, the planetarium, and that's been donated by Easton resident Ken McAuliffe and the Museum of Science. Those have a value of $160. They've been doing that for us for a number of years, so I encourage you to bid high and bid often on those. Thank you for working with us on this first round of bidding for good items.
All right. Thanks very much. You'll be pleased to know, those of you who are interested in this, we are exactly on time. which is, as my wife who's sitting over there will tell you, it's the first time in my life I've actually been on time. So we are now starting our second half hour. In the second half hour, we are going to hear from Easton CERT. Fire Chief Kevin Partridge will introduce the video. We're going to hear from the Easton Cross Country team. Kyle Souza is here, presumably somewhere, I hope. And finally, we are going to hear from about We Do Care, 3 different organizations in the second half hour. But first, Lee Williams, longtime member of the Easton Lions Club, is going to talk about what the Easton Lions Club means to him. Mr. Williams.
Thank you, Gary. Yeah. 508-345-6544. I know you don't have the paper and pen there. Go get one, please. I'll come back to that number again. In the meantime, I want to remind you that I joined the Easton Lions Club in 1979, 40 years a member now. I enjoy the organization, and it's meant a lot to me, to say the very least. You know, the prime cause of Lions International is the prevention of blindness, and all of us have different reasons for having joined the Easton Lions Club, but I'll tell you my personal experience. When I met Mr. Charles E. Johnson in the early 1960s, when he came into my office to buy stocks for the long pull, he was legally blind, came in with his brother Harry. Harry died a year later. I became kind of a caretaker for the man. He became a member of the family, and when I brought him for an eye exam some years later, whose corneas had been destroyed in the left eye completely. In the right eye, he could see light from dark, and that's it. He was found ready for a cornea transplant. It worked. When I went into the hospital room the morning after he had that cornea transplant, he said, "Lee, come over here," very strong man. He put out his right hand to me, grabbed me by the collar like this. I always wore a tie. He pulled me down close, and with his left hand, he lifted up that big bandage over his eyes. Now, I've been seeing this man for over a decade prior to that. He looked up to me and he said, "So that's what you look like." All right, so I want to tell you something. That everyone has a compelling reason or not to join the Easton Lions Club, but mine was compelling. 508-345-6544. That's my cell phone. I want you to call me. I want you to come as our no-obligation guest to a Lions Club meeting. Find out what it is that we do. We're the largest club in Massachusetts by more than double the next club. We're in the top 25 in the nation in size. I want to tell you, we're an absolute powerhouse. So please, give me a phone call, take a look at us. You get the free meal and you don't like us, we'll still be friends. Our motto, we serve. The preponderance of the money we raise in Easton goes back into the town, but the Easton Lions Club have given over $500,000 in the last 40 years that I've been on them for eye research. We love the organization and what they do, and in the last 10 years, the Easton Lions Club, the largest club in the state, every Lions Club knows about the Easton Lions Club, we have been, the preponderance of the time, we have been in the top 10 giving for money. So I thank you for your time this evening. Remember, Easton is Massachusetts' best kept secret.
Lee Williams, our club and our town certainly have a debt of gratitude to you. Thank you so much for all you do for our community and for our Lions Club. Our #1 recruiter in the Easton Lions Club, Lee Williams. Items that are valued at $51 up to $100 are now be ready to close out at 7:30 on the Bidding for Good site. So if there are items on that grouping that you're interested in, start watching those and knowing that in about 26 minutes we will close those out.
Thanks very much, John. Next up, we're going to switch gears from some of the social service organizations that we support to CERT. CERT is the type of organization that you don't think about until you think about it, and when you think about it, you're really, really glad that they're here. Chief Partridge, introduce the CERT video.
Thank you, Gary.
Thank you, Gary. They didn't tell me I was going to have to follow Lee. I would have practiced a little more for my presentation. I look forward to our biweekly call, Lee. Thank you. I'm happy to be here tonight. I thank the Lions Club for inviting CERT and the Easton Fire Department here to be part of it. I'd also like to thank the Easton Chamber of Commerce for inviting us as a guest. Some of the Easton CERT team members over there give a wave to our... Thank you. So Easton CERT, Community Emergency Response Team, and you'll learn a little bit more through the video, is a volunteer organization that we started a volunteer group that we started about 2 years ago to help the community, particularly with manning and staffing our shelter when we have to open it up during storms. And we use this room right here in the school and also the gymnasium as well. Pam Berglund is our team leader, and we also have about 32 members of the team. We're always looking for more members, so if you're interested, when you see our advertisement, come down and see us and join. I'd like to thank President Laurie and congratulate her on another event, successful event, good year, and a changing year for her. Great job. I'd like to thank the CERT team members that put the video together, led by Celeste O'Neill, Rebecca Dunkley, Jim Cremens, Tracy DeBrun, Karen Schwartz, John Hebb, and Linda Palucci. They do great work for the town. I appreciate all their efforts. And without further ado, the Easton CERT team. And thank you for the donation for the radios.
In the spring of 2017, Easton Fire Chief Kevin Partridge and his assistant Pam Berglund asked the town of Easton for community emergency response volunteers.
I'm Pam Berglund. I'm the program manager for the Easton Community Emergency Response Team. Our team runs under the direction of Fire Chief Kevin Partridge, who is also the Emergency Management Director for the town of Easton. We originally started the CERT team 3 years ago when we realized that there was a need for a shelter in the town of Easton, and there had been a blizzard. We also run a cooling shelter, and that is usually run out of Frothingham Hall on Barrow Street. Sheltering is our main mission, even though we do many other things. That is the reason that CERT became a team.
To date, more than 35 enthusiastic volunteers have answered that call and have devoted over 1,300 hours of training. They became certified in both American Heart Association Heart Saver First Aid, CPR, AED, and adult mental health first aid.
I joined CERT because my entire career I was a nurse. And when I saw this, I couldn't pass it up.
Hi, I'm Carrie Meckler. I was looking for a volunteer opportunity in town to give back to my community.
My name is Becky Dunkley. I just wanted to become involved in Easton, where I happen to live.
Easton CERT has operated 2 emergency shelter drills, as well as 4 extreme weather-related emergency shelter operations. Easton CERT volunteers have also provided firefighter rehab support during several local fire situations.
And what that means is that when there's an extreme or long duration event, Chief Partridge or the officer in charge will have us dispatch to the scene. Our job is to rehydrate and nourish the firefighters. We are reducing the likelihood that they will get hurt or injured. Our main goal is just to keep them safe and help them to do the best job that they can do.
The Easton team has collaborated with emergency management and response teams from Norton, Mansfield, Brockton, and more. They've dispensed emergency preparedness information and provided a variety of other volunteer services during over 30 local community events.
I'm Linda Palucci. Whenever you see us at any of the events, we will give you handouts as to what you should have in your Go Pass. If you see us, please come up. We love to talk.
What I've enjoyed about being part of CERT was learning CPR and first aid. I also feel much more prepared in case of an emergency, and I also enjoyed helping people when they have had an emergency.
What I've enjoyed about CERT the most is the people with whom I'm volunteering. They are committed, they're dedicated, they're talented, and they are just a very fun group of people to spend my time with.
One thing that I hadn't expected or anticipated when I joined the CERT team was how much fun it is. Pam does an amazing job of building camaraderie and building team, and it's a great group to be a part of.
I'd say we were looking for about a group of 30 dedicated volunteers, and we certainly have them here. We couldn't ask for better people. They give up so much of their time to be here and work for the community.
The town of Easton is home to one extremely dedicated community emergency response team. During the first 3 years of Easton CERT, Volunteers have logged well over 3,000 hours of service to our community.
The one thing we were really lacking, we found in the last year or so, is a communications piece for our team. When we're out working, we couldn't communicate with each other if we weren't within earshot. That's when we went to the Lions and asked them if they'd fund radios for us. There was no question. They stepped right up, they funded those radios, and we now have the communications piece for our team.
I'm Joe. I'm the radio guy for the CERT team. Started off as a radio guy, and I work with a number of old eclectic radios from the fire department. Not very good. A little bit later, Pam told me that she was working with the Lions Club and got a donation to buy new radios. So we bought a number of radios, and we've been using them for the past year and a half. Superb piece of equipment, worked very well, and it's interesting to see the change of operations from when we used to do word of mouth to having a radio and communicating over the radio.
Thank you, Easton Lions!
Roger that.
You may have seen the team around town.
Well, thank you very much, sir. John.
And the auction keeps rolling along. At 7:30, we'll close out those items that are $51 to $100, but we've got some things that are getting some interesting activity. We've got a Sony 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray DVD player that is online. We've got gift certificates to a variety of restaurants in the area, many of which are in Easton. We've got some very active bidders here. We've got some activity going on here that we can monitor through the Bidding for Good site that shows there's a number of things that are trading places as that activity continues on. And if you have a chance, feel free to get up and walk around and walk over to the table where Clara Beatty is making sure that that Dan or Doug or nobody walks away with anything up there. So you got to cross her, but she'll show you what's up there, give you an opportunity to review it, and ask you to go online. If again, there are laptops in the back of the room, and feel free to walk back there, put in a bid, of course, using your mobile device.
Thanks very much, John. Next, we have one of my favorite Oliver Ames organizations, the cross-country team, coming up. I have to tell a personal story. Come on up, Kevin. I have to tell a personal story. One of my kids ran cross-country for 4 years, and he was the classic cross-country story. He finished last in every single race, except possibly one. He screwed that one up somehow. But his last year, he was voted captain. And the reason for this is that the values the cross-country team shares with its members are really profound. That was the most impactful experience that Ben had at Oliver Ames, and he learned lessons that have served him extremely well for the next 10 years. Kyle, come on up and tell us about cross-country and about the video.
Thank you very much, Gary, for that introduction. Every year on Thanksgiving morning, from the very room that we're sitting in right now, the Oliver Ames Cross Country program hosts the annual Tiger Turkey Chase. It's a 5-mile road race that begins and ends right up behind this building. The event itself is our main fundraiser, and it allows us to fund a varsity athletic program that serves nearly 100 student athletes at Oliver Ames High School. But the road race itself would not be possible without the generous support of community sponsors. In the 25-year history of the race, the Easton Lions have been among our most generous and our most loyal supporters. From the early years when the race was small and unknown, to our 25th anniversary last November with over 1,000 participants from the town. The dependable support of the Easton Lions has helped us grow the race into one of the premier events in the area. And through that sponsorship, the Lions have impacted over 1,000 student athletes at Oliver Ames High School and supported them in their pursuit of integrity, commitment, hard work, sacrifice, and perseverance. On behalf of the OA Cross Country program, thank you to the Easton Lions, and thank you everyone for being here tonight, supporting all the extraordinary work going on in our community.
Cross Country program is a varsity athletic program at Oliver Ames High School that prides itself on integrity and commitment, hard work, sacrifice, and perseverance. you can be on our team whether you're the fastest runner at all of Reims High School, whether you're the slowest runner at all of Reims High School. What we measure success by is those values each and every day.
I completely agree. Like, I love coming to cross country practice every single day, and it isn't really at all about going for that run every single day. You know, when I show up at practice, you know, I'm excited to socialize with other people. I'm excited to, you know, improve and work on my own running, and then I'm excited to run and get better for the team. And there's really this big team culture that's the most important part about all of Reims cross country. And it's not about how fast we run, it's just how close we get and like how much we can bond as a team, and I feel like that's the most fun part.
The whole team aspect is such a big part of it. I never would have really expected such a big team to feel like such a family, but it really does because of the culture created by the coaches and just the way everyone really supports each other. I didn't really have any of my best friends on the team, but as the years have gone on, I've created such strong relationships with people I never really would have thought I would.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Coming into cross country my freshman year, I had like a couple of my close friends, but then other than that, that was it. But since joining cross country, I've made more friends with people that I never thought I would even talk to in my life, and people from all walks of life that you wouldn't think have anything in common are all brought together by this common sport. And I really think it's amazing because we all can just bond and we all can just become friends no matter what, and we all spend so much time with each other throughout the season that it really doesn't matter who we are, and we all just become so close.
I think we're lucky that we enjoy the legacy that the program has had over the years, that we seem to always have some younger siblings and some 7th and 8th graders who have heard about the program, and at some point somebody kind of takes the leap to give it a try, and they tend to kind of bring their friends with them, and we tend to have kids come in waves to the cross country program, and very few, once they get here, decide that it's not for them. Most of them, I think, can find a place. Today, 85 athletes are on the All Reims cross country program. It's a large program. I think the reason for it in part is that we can have everybody compete. Our program does not make cuts, and every athlete gets an opportunity to compete all season long. So as long as you want to come and put in the work, you can get out there on the race course on race day.
What you put in is kind of what you get out. I think when you can rely on your teammates, and there's such a sense of we're all in this together and we're all going through it together, so even the hardest workout can feel fun.
When I go on like an average run, it can range anywhere between like 4 to 8 miles. Across the entire week, we have like a few workouts and a few average runs, and then we have a few lighter runs. It's definitely a lot to handle, but I think that's the whole point. There's a new challenge every single day, and if you're willing to overcome it, then you can get better.
Captains are always elected by their peers. The coaches, we have no input in it. It's a process that we entirely entrust to the team, and the team always gives us back excellent captains. We have, luckily, a legacy of strong leadership, and these two are modest about it, but I'll tell you that they're two of the best young leaders that I know. The Lions have been a long-term supporter of the Tiger Turkey Chase for longer than I've even been at all of Reims High School, ranging on decades at this point. Their support helps to make the race possible, allows us to put on an event every Thanksgiving morning, hosting over 1,000 runners from Easton and the surrounding communities. All of Reims Cross Country is, I hope, everything that we're aiming to do with high school athletics. To take young men and women at all of Reims High School and challenge them, push them to the limits of integrity and commitment and hard work and sacrifice and perseverance, and set them up for success on the race course, but also for success later on in life after they graduate and move on to other things.
So watching all that running probably gave you an appetite also. So we're getting ready to enjoy a wonderful meal by the folks at Twins Catering. We're very proud to have them working with us this evening, put on this celebration dinner with us. And if you had a chance to check out the website and looking at the things being auctioned off tonight, you'll see there are a number of restaurant items donated. We've got a couple on there from our friend Dr. David Mudd. There's a $200 gift certificate to La Cucina Ristorante. There's a $100 gift certificate to Farmer's Daughter, both donated by Doc Mudd. Our friends at Easton Real Estate donated a $100 gift card to Stone Forge Grill. And the folks at Shino Sushi Bar and Grill gave us a $100 gift card. Now those will go off at 7:30 when we have that. Of course, we've got the 3 free cheese pizzas for a year from Buddy's Union Villa. And we've got 2 gift cards from former Lion John Foy at the Capitol Grill, one valued at $125. But we've got something I wanted to auction off at 1:30, and that is something that came to us through the generosity of Stephen Dre, who is the Assistant General Manager of the regionally renowned Farmer's Daughter restaurant. He came to us this evening and said, listen, here's a $50 gift card. How much money do you think you'd raise with that tonight? So what I'm going to do in 10 minutes, I'm going to auction this off live right here, just to people in the room. Sorry, folks, nobody online, nobody at Bidding for Good can get this. It's a $50 gift card that I'll be bidding off here in about 10 minutes. So let's get some activity going on that. And Gary's got something to share with you now.
Yeah, thanks, John. We have finished 5 so far, hearing from 5 so far of our beneficiaries. The 6th and the final one this hour is We Do Care. I first learned about We Do Care when Julie Brennan came to the Lions and talked about her organization, and I was overwhelmed by the thoughtfulness, the need, and the creativity that she's put together into forming and running We Do Care. So Michelle McGee from the Lions, take it away.
Good evening. I'm Michelle McGee. I'm a new Lions member this year. I've been living in Easton for about 15 years, and I did a short stint in Plymouth for a couple years, and when I returned to Easton a few years ago, I had always heard of the Lions Club. I think if you live in Easton, you've heard of the Lions Club, whether it's through this auction or through our holiday festival and Main Street stroll, or if you have not heard of the Lions Club, you've probably still interacted with us in some way and just didn't know it, whether it be the Yardley Wood Rink or the thrift store or the golf tournament that we run. So, as you know, we are celebrating some of our beneficiaries tonight, and we have Julie Brennan and Jen Cohn from We Do Care tonight, and we're going to listen to a little bit about their organization. One of the great things about the Lions Club is that we help with eye research, but a lot of our help stays local, and you'll notice that tonight in our beneficiaries. So Julie's organization is straight out of Easton, and if you are interested in becoming a Lions Club member, Lee's phone number is 508-345-6544. He would be happy to take your call right now, and we would love to have you at a dinner. And like Lee said, you can leave and we'll still be friends. So, Julie, can you tell us how, I think my mic cut out, can you tell us how We Do Care started? What made you think of it?
So We Do Care started because 10 years ago in February, I became a young widow at the age of 34. I lost my partner, John. He died in a car accident on Valentine's Day. And we had a very young family. I was 34 years old. We had a 3-year-old son, and I was 3 months pregnant. The short version of the story is that when I went to what was supposed to be a young widows group, the men and women in the group were 70 and 80 years old. They didn't have young children that they were raising, and it just wasn't a place that I was going to relate with people. So I was looking for something, and God kept putting young widows in my path. And I made some good friends. We started meeting in places like Panera that were easy to get to. And we laughed and we cried and we shared what it was like to raise grieving babies. And We Do Care started with care packages. And then 3.5 years ago, we started a support group right here in Easton.
So how did you come up with the name We Do Care?
Good question. So We Do Care is a spin-off of Widows, so almost like Widow Care, but it's also the overarching mission of our cause is to get everyone we know and encounter to care about people that are dealing with loss, and just getting as many people as we can involved in knowing that after the wake and the funeral, After the first 2 weeks, people really need you in that first year and that second year, and they need you to knock on their door and help bring them out of isolation, which is what grief brings your way.
So it started with care packages, and you've moved on to, what are some of your key events or things that you provide?
So we empower women that are widowed at a young age. We also welcome men to come our way, and we help children that have lost a parent. How we help them is by offering a monthly support group that actually runs right here in Easton out of Holy Cross, which is a church I belong to. We do meetups and events, so we allow the families to get together with other people with a shared journey, and we allow them to do fun things, because one of the things when you lose your spouse 40 years before you really should, and you're raising young children, is you only have one income. So we supplement with the fundraising that we do, we supplement activities and fun events so that the families can continue to do amazing things like all other families, and the kids don't feel like they've been left out of fun things.
And how has the Lions Club helped?
The Lions Club has been awesome to us. So they've supported us the last 3 years. And each time that we've reached out and asked for help, they've been able to help us, and the amount of funding they've given us has grown. So 3 years ago, they gave us $500 in a grant, and then they were able to give us $1,000. And last year in 2019, when we reached out, they were able to give us just what we needed, which was $1,500 to continue our kids support group.
So you don't have to be a Lions Club member to help, so if you're not, how can others help?
Do you want to talk? Sure. We'll give Jen a chance.
I get a turn. So as Julie mentioned, we do monthly support groups, and she usually provides dinner for the families because it usually starts around 6 or 7, prime dinner time. So she has been providing food for them as well as support group, and then the kids do an art therapy program as well, while the moms and dads are having support groups, so simultaneously those things are going on. It would be great to get local folks in the community to help sponsor some of those dinners, and also to do, the other thing that the organization does is they tend to try and find events, entertainment that they can offer. So as Julie mentioned, a lot of the income tends to go to the bills, and then you're down to a single family income, a single person income, trying to support the family, so you don't really have a lot of time to do, or money and expenses to do the things like go to the movies or take someone to a show. And so the organization has been working to reach out to the community to also provide anything that's kind of enrichment opportunities. She's taken folks to the museum. So it's been really great to just have time to get people out and in the community and just really enjoy what's there. So if anyone in the community has the resources available to help support us, to support the families that we serve, that would be really great. And we are running our 3rd annual golf tournament, if folks are interested in that, at the Easton Country Club. We've done it for the last 2 years, and it's been really successful. It's happening in August 28th. If anybody's interested in that, you can go on our website and check it out. But it's a good way to support what the organization is doing. So.
Excellent. So we're about out of time, but real quickly, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
So my email, julieb@wedocare.org. We have a Facebook page for We Do Care, and we also have a website. So that's wedocare.org.
Excellent. Thank you so much for what you do for the community.
Thank you, Lions Club.
Thank you. So I'm going to give it back to, I'm giving it to John, but John, if you'd like to give out Lee's number one more time, I don't have time, so.
Well,
thank you.
What I'll ask what we do and match off, if you would. Matt, if you would make sure that that information is linked to our website, and if you can make sure we have information on that golf outing, we'll help promote that. And we've got a couple of golfers on our Lions Club. I'm sure would be glad to buy tickets and do that. It's amazing what we've got going on this little community of Easton. It's wonderful to see and learn more about these organizations that have such an impact on our community and make this a terrific place to live. So now I'm going to try to do my best job of channeling Lee Williams. I got a $50 bid here. Right here for this $50 gift card for Farmer's Daughter, I got a $50 bid. Paul DiNicola, $50. Who's going to give us an overbid on that? We got 55 back here in the back from Dale Carister. Do I hear 60? We see his 60 back. You're going to let it stay at 60, or can I have $70? Who will give me a $70 bid for this gift card? We've got $70 over here. Do we have $70? We've got $70 right there. $70. Now, the nice thing about this gift card, if you've been to the Farmer's Daughter, you know there's always a line. You just walk up and you have this gift card. You say, John Morgan said, I go to the front of the line. Well, maybe not, but that's the first time I've lied to you tonight. I got a $70 bid. Do I have a $75 bid for this card? I've got a $75 bid right here, gentleman in the black sweater. $75. He knows the value of a Farmer Daughter meal. Do I hear an $80 bid? Who's going to give me $80 for this gift card to Farmer's Daughter? The money goes to iResearch. Rabbi, thank you. $80 bid from Rabbi Ken right there. Thank you so much. But you're not going to let him get this for $80, are you? I need an $85 bid. Can't let Ken get this for $80. Do I have an $85 bid on this gift card for Farmer's Daughter? I'm going to sell it. 80 going once. I'm sorry, 75 going once. So I have 80 there. 80 there. 85 over here. Got an $85 bid. We all satisfied? We're all in at $85. 85 going once. Twice. Sold for $85. Thank you so much for supporting iResearch. We are also closing out the items at 7:30. Those are the items from $51 to $100. Now we start bidding on the next group, and that is $101 to $200. That's the next round of things going on. Thank you so very much. Gary, take it away.
Thank you very much, John. We are now going to move into learning what the Lions Club will do next year. From our second vice president, Andrew Parker, I am dying to hear what you have to say.
You and me both. You and me both. I walked in tonight and a friend of mine said, I want to thank you very much for putting on your best pair of cargo pants and your work boots. The Lions have an expression. It's not above you, not beneath you, but with you. So I'm living the look. I'm actually I'm stunt double tonight for the first vice president, Doc Mudd, who's going to be the president next year. And the president gets to set the agenda for the club. And Doc said he wants to get us into a little bit of diabetes work. He wants to have us do some diabetes outreach, some awareness, and some testing, hopefully. So that'll be a little bit of a new step for us. But he also said he wants to make sure that we stay in focus with what we've been doing for the last many years. Next year is going to be our 90th year, which is a pretty big deal. And what we've been doing is as Dale Carister said, we do two things. We raise money and we give it away. And Dale said he would, and Doc said he wants to keep the focus on doing just those very same things. A couple weeks ago, Doc said that he learned that the Easton Lions are one of the largest Lions clubs in the U.S., which is a pretty big deal, correct? That was a test, and you all passed. It is not a big deal at all. Being a large group, it's something, but it means nothing more than being a large group. There's a club down in Connecticut that has a marathon, they charity marathon, and everybody who goes to the marathon has to join the club. So they're bigger than us, they're a lot skinnier than us, but they're not necessarily more productive than us. Doc also said that we have one of the most active clubs in the country, which is a really big deal, because the more active we are, the more money we can raise, and the more we can give back to the community. So what we do, we have 5 essential programs that we run, and we're going to keep doing that. The first thing that you'll see coming up in the spring is the Junk Day, which we take lots of waste out of the waste stream, raise money. Second thing is the golf charity. We have a competing golf charity, sorry Julie. That takes place in September. We also have the Holiday Festival, which the new line, Lynn Payne, has been retooling. If you're watching this on TV, I'm sure you're at the Holiday Festival. We have the auction, which became the Celebration of Easton, which we'll be focusing on next year, obviously. And the biggest thing that we do, and probably the most important thing for the charity outcome that we have, is the thrift store. We're open every Wednesday and Saturday. That will continue. If you go down there on a Wednesday and a Saturday, we're going to be there. We raise lots of money for the community. It's a fantastic place. Every time you go in there, you're helping us help the community. So look forward to seeing all of you at future events. And Gary, back to the main stage.
We are now moving into the YMCA presentation. The YMCA has a terrific video coming up in just a second. Darcy Paiva, who is the executive director, is going to explain all about the video.
Hello, everyone. As Gary said, I'm so excited to be here, and we're so excited that the Lions Club had asked us to be part of the celebration of Easton, so thank you so much. I'm the executive director of the Easton YMCA, just down the street. For those of you that don't know, the Y is a nonprofit charitable organization. In Easton, we serve over 4,600 members in the local community. Our number one mission and cause is to strengthen community, which is unbelievable. And, you know, because of organizations like the Lions Club, because of donors and supporters year-round, we are able to make such an impact in the community. The video that you're about to see, this just shows you a very short glimpse into everything that we do. What sets us apart from the typical gym and swims are the fact that we are able to provide vital Y services and programs to everyone despite financial or life circumstances. And just to let you know too, we have our Spinathon event coming up this Saturday and our Zumbathon event coming up on Saturday as well. Our Spinathon event is at the Shoveltown Brewery. So cool. How many people can say that they had a spin class at the Shoveltown Brewery, right? And then we also have our spring gala coming up on May 16th honoring Northeastern Savings Bank. So we hope that you will join us. I'm looking around at the room and I see so many unbelievable supporters of the YMCA. And, you know, again, just to reiterate, it is because of people and organizations like you and the Lions Club that we are able to impact the community the way that we do. So thank you so much.
Hello, everyone. My name is Darcy Paiva. I am here at the Easton YMCA. I am the executive director here, and we are so excited that you've come to visit us today. If you didn't know, we are a nonprofit charitable organization, and we are part of the Old Colony Y organization. So you'll see our child care, our school-age departments, some programming, swim, all that jazz. So we're excited to have you today. All right, so right now we're gonna head into our pool area, our aquatics area. So at first look, this looks like a typical pool, sauna, hot tub, but really we do so much more with it. We do a program called WaterWise, which is a drowning prevention water safety program that we provide to all second graders in Easton Public Schools at absolutely no charge to any of our families in Easton. What they do during a 7-week span is learn how to prevent others from drowning, learning how to prevent themselves from drowning, and what to do in emergency situations. And again, what's so amazing is that because of donations from organizations like the Lions Club, we are able to provide this programming free. And it's really an amazing community partnership that we have with Easton Public Schools. So right now we are in one of 2 fitness centers here at the Easton Y. We've got our cardio machines, our strength training machines, and our free weight area right to the back. Right now we actually have for Zumba going on. What's different about our group fitness area, you know, as you can see, we have a small but historical, beautiful building. And we only have a couple of group fitness studios. What we do offer is a virtual fitness experience. So either in this studio over here or our spin studio, you can come at any time. If there are not live classes going on, if you can't make the schedule, and choose from over 300 classes and have your own virtual experience and your own workout to yourself, which is really amazing. So right in here is our preschool room. We can have you come right in. So our friends right now are in the middle of nap time, but this is our preschool area right over here. We've got our infant toddler kids right downstairs. So in our child care in here, we serve just over 60 local families in Easton. We do give financial assistance to any families that need some extra support in terms of child care. Outside of this child care facility, we do have 5 school-age sites, 4 at Easton Public Schools and then 1 at the Avon Public Schools. These are actually our little toddlers here that participate in our play enrichment classes. So during the day, during their school day, their parents can sign them up to come in and take programming. So instead of the nap time, they can, decide that they want to partake in some sort of a program. It could be swimming, it could be STEM classes, it could be a wide variety of options. So we do give that to all of our child care participants as an option. I think what sets the Y apart from any other gym and swim is the fact that we are for all. There is no reason that anyone cannot become a member here. We accept anyone if there are any financial issues, if there are life circumstances. We truly work with every single person in the community, anyone that walks through our doors, to make sure that they have access to Y services, membership, programming, child care. The sky's the limit. And it's because of our amazing donors, our members, our volunteers that we are able to do that. Right now in Easton, we have about 4,500 members, but we want to double that. We know that membership is a way to impact the community, and when we strengthen the families, when we strengthen individuals, we know that we strengthen the community. So we invite you all to come in, check us out, come and take a tour. We want you here, and we want you to know that when you become part of the Y, you really become part of the community, and it's so much more. So we hope to see you soon.
Let me give you an update on bid activity, folks. We've had 1,065 bids this evening, so there's a lot of folks out there in that interweb thing who are bidding on stuff. You've helped us raise $13,807 so far. Give yourselves a round of applause, my friends. It is 7:42. At 8 o'clock, we will close out the up to $200 range of items. So you'll be hearing a little bit more from me on that shortly.
Thanks very much, John. Next up, we have Scoutmaster Adam Kempner to introduce the Boy Scouts video. Adam.
Good evening. I'm the Scoutmaster for Troop 193 in Easton. I've been involved in scouting since I was 7 years old, so it's been a little while. I am an Eagle Scout, third generation in my family. I have twin boys that have been in scouting, and I've been involved for 9 years in scouting in Easton. It's a great town. I'd like to thank the Lions Club for all they do and donate. They donate money for camperships and for gear that families that might not be able to afford to go camping for summer camp, and also for high adventure trips and to purchase gear. Boy Scouts is all run by the Scouts. I try to navigate them through everything. You can go on our website, troop193easton.com. That's done by one of the Scouts. All of the gear is managed by Scouts. All we do is try to facilitate them to stay safe and learn as they go. It's a great program. We meet at Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock at the ICC Church at the gym in the back. If you're interested, please come by. The Boy Scout mission is to prepare young people to make ethical and moral choices over the lifetime by instilling in them the values of the Scout Oath and Law. Scouting gives young Scouts to try new things. Some of the badges end up being careers that I've seen just in the kids in Easton, and also just great hobbies. So this video is of the holiday breakfast that we do that is mostly Scout-led. Upstairs at Oaks Ames Hall, they don't do the cooking, but they do all the serving, and it's a great time, and the Lions Club definitely helps us out with that. So you'll see it's mostly the Scouts in the video. Thanks.
Thanks, Adam.
Good morning, Adam Kempner with Scoutmaster for Troop 193 in Easton. We're at our annual holiday breakfast. I'd like to give, this is our third or fourth year we're doing this. It raised funds for scouting events like the high adventure trip we're going to Philmont, for buying gear for the scouts as far as tents and stoves and stuff like that. We work very closely with the Lions Club, who helps us with the breakfast and helps us with donations for camperships and stuff during the year. One of the things that we do in scouting, it is all led by scouts. We're more or less there for safety, if anything. So at this event, we're cooking, but when we go on trips, they do all the cooking and stuff. So they're serving, they planned the whole breakfast, and a lot of that goes towards leadership skills that we're trying to have them learn along the way.
What I like best about Scouts is the unique experience of like learning all these things in the merit badges and interacting with new people that have different like traits that they can help you in life. Yeah.
Well, I like the rock climbing trip that is coming up next week, and I'm also so excited for this holiday breakfast, and I like helping people.
That you get to help the community, you get to go camping and learn all the essentials for life and how to survive in the real world as a grown-up and by yourself.
Scouting is like really awesome. Like we go on a lot of camping trips and stuff, and I guess like this is how we get money for buying things, and it's really cool. It's my first time doing it.
I like the trips that we do. I think that they're a lot of fun.
I personally like the fact that like we go on like challenging trips. So yeah.
I like camping and hiking. I really like on how it just like teaches a bunch of skills and like how to do, like, I don't know, just it's helpful, really.
I really like how we're able to rank up and be recognized for our hard work and be able to set our own goals. You know, self-motivation, it's a nice thing.
Yeah, I think it's also a lot of fun because we all get to work together and to make everything work, and we make each other do harder things and push each other, and we usually have a lot of fun while we're on our trips and having fun.
Scouts has been a really good experience. I've made lots of friends, lots of trips and cool things that I've gotten to do, and it's just great. I love it. And at this Boy Scout breakfast, we just serve lots of food. I helped run things, and it's just really good. So I'd recommend joining because it's been amazing.
Just thank everyone that's helped us out this year. Can't do it without volunteers of our Scout parents, the Lions Club, and Easton and Ames Hall.
All right. You can sell that then again. You can sell that again. Thanks, Scouts. We are moving right into hugs. And our next interview is with Suzanne Bump and Stacy Klein-Verde, who run Hugs, Help Us Get Safe, the domestic violence prevention organization in town. Suzanne, take it away.
Thank you, Gary. My name is Suzanne Bump. I have lived in Easton for just 2.5 years. I was introduced to Lions about a year ago. Gary, in fact, invited me to come to the Lions. Oh, thank you. Gary, in fact, invited me to come to the Lions meeting in order to talk about the work that I do as the state auditor for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And Lee Williams, whom you saw earlier, who's the chief recruiter, recruited me. I really felt like I had no choice but to join this great group of people who are doing so many wonderful things for the community. So tonight I get to talk with one of those folks, who is Stacy Klein-Verde, is the president of Hugs. Hugs stands for Help Us Get Safe. The mission of this organization, as you might discern, is focused on family violence. It's prevention and assistance to those who are victims of family violence. So, Stacy?
Thank you. I want to thank everybody here for supporting the Lions Club. And the Lions Club has been supporting HUGS for many, many years as being a sponsor of our programs.
Now, how could you give us some sense of the range of activities, the supports that you're able to provide for families who are trying to deal with violence in their homes?
So we have programs in the school, starting actually in RO. We have programs in 5th grade, then at the middle school in 8th grade. We sponsor a theater group that comes in and puts on a show. We also have an advocate that goes into the 8th grade health classes to talk about healthy relationships and bullying. And then at the high school level, we have the White Ribbon Campaign, which is a national campaign geared towards men and trying to get men to stand up against violence. At Oliver Ames, it's actually co-ed. But it did start with men only. And then for juniors, we show The Yellow Dress, which is an extremely powerful dating violence program. Then as far as direct service, we help families who've experienced any kind of violence. We help them financially as far as making sure that they can either get into a safe place or stay in a safe place. I happen to be a lawyer, so I also assist the families with restraining orders or consults for divorce, custody, child support, basically anything that they would need, evictions I've worked with. And then for direct service also, we refer out to counseling services, support groups, shelters. We provide transportation, basically anything and everything that a family would need to stay safe.
That is quite a wide range of services, and I understand that they are provided by volunteers.
All volunteers, absolutely.
So if someone were sympathetic to this cause, what kind of expertise would they need to bring to help a family who was experiencing violence?
A warm heart, that's it. Somebody that will listen and just be empathetic. That's all.
So you don't need a degree, you don't need to be a nurse, you don't need to be a lawyer. Do you have trouble recruiting volunteers?
It goes up and down cycle. We are always looking for more volunteers. We meet the first Thursday of each month at Northeastern Savings Bank at Five Corners. And we actually are having our annual fundraiser. I left some of these flyers on the tables, and the event is May 8th at 7 p.m. It is a buffet and concert, and it's at the Knights of Columbus.
So in your education courses, you are really touching the lives of hundreds of kids here in Easton. How many people do you serve with the financial assistance or the transportation or the help with therapists and the like? Give us a sense of the need in this community for these services, if you will.
For direct service, we probably help 50 to 75 families a year. And that may be information. It might not be actually writing a check for them, but certainly a lot of consults, just giving them information about what resources are out there.
So you're an attorney. How did you find your way to this organization? How did you decide to give so much of yourself to this cause?
I actually grew up in Easton, and when I was in high school, there were dating violence situations that nobody talked about. And that's actually when it started. Then in college, I became more aggressive in learning about it, and I worked at a shelter in Boston. And really, ever since that time, I've always volunteered with domestic violence survivors.
What is your experience with kids in the classroom? How willing are they to talk about what they have seen, what their fears are?
The ages that we start with, they are more likely to talk one-on-one, but they will ask questions that are very telling. And so it's important for the school staff to be prepared, which is why we have an advocate go in at 8th grade. I have had the experience of working with kids actually as young as kindergarten in my experience, and they are very forthcoming with information.
So what is one of your chief needs? What is something that really is hard for you to provide to your clients that you could really use some help from the community with?
A constant need is gift cards, because when survivors have to leave in the middle of the night sometimes, they leave with nothing. And so one of the things that HUGS does most is give gift cards. Supermarkets, just Visa gift cards, Target, any kind of local store, gas gift cards. That's really what we do, because that's something that's immediate that we can hand the survivor right then and there.
Is there anything else that you'd like to make sure that the folks in the school auditorium here with us, or in the viewing audience should know?
Just that the best way to reach us, I left some of these flyers on the tables as well, is our website is www.eastonhugs.org, and it has all the information about services as well as volunteering if anybody is interested.
Well, Stacy, I really appreciate the time that you're spending with us tonight, but more importantly, I appreciate the work that you're doing with our families here in Easton. Thank you, and thanks to all of the volunteers for helping these folks who too often stay in the shadows out of shame.
And thank you. Thank everybody for your support.
Okay. Thank you.
Let's keep applauding, folks, because we just crested $14,000. Tremendous results. Thank you so very, very much. We've got a number of items that actually gone over to overbid, kind of like we did with the Farmer's Daughter certificate that Craig bought. The $200 gift certificate to La Cucina restaurant donated by Doc Mudd. The high bid on that right now is $205. If you look at the list of things we've got up for auction, we are now going into that 8 o'clock hour. These are items that have values of over $300. We've closed out the items that were $100 to $300. So I love the way we've positioned this on the website. These items are $301 to priceless. Sounds like a commercial, doesn't it? So it is a commercial. What am I saying? So if you look at the list of things on the website, there's some really unique items on there. But you ain't seen something like this yet. Now, John, why are you holding a bag of almonds? Well, folks, we're in an almond-free environment here in the school system, and we didn't know that when we were putting together the menu for tonight's meal. So the salads that you'd enjoyed about an hour ago were sans almonds. Well, I'm holding about a $50 bag of almonds right here in my hands. Please don't leave me holding the bag. In 15 minutes, I'm going to auction this off, and if it goes for 50 cents, it goes for 50 cents. But don't leave me holding the bag, right, Gare?
Great, thanks, John. Yes, you remember, you can never eat enough almonds. I don't know. Okay, Cheryl Germain, who just left here, come on back up. We are going to move into our fourth half hour. We have 3 more of our beneficiaries to present, and we'll start with videos about diabetes camp. Cheryl Germain is instrumental in running the diabetes camp and getting recruits. So tell us about your video, and then we'll watch the diabetes camp video.
Hi. I'm a member of the Diabetic Awareness Committee. I'm actually the chairperson. Some of my committee members are over there. We raise money in District 33S, Lions, from Easton, Brockton line, all the way down to Provincetown for diabetic kids to go to summer camp. It's $1,400 for a week for an overnight campership. So we have 3 main events. We do 2 dining for cash, one at Mansfield Crossing, the Bertucci's, and one we're going to be doing at Barrett's in Bridgewater this year. Our main event is held at the Rainham Track, where we have a DJ, an Italian dinner, and desserts, and a lot of awesome auction items. We do a silent auction, we do a 50-50, and we also do a raffle. We're very grateful. We get sponsors. Easton has been so generous. These past 3 years, they've given us a $500 donation for each year. We're going to challenge them to consider doing a platinum sponsorship this year, and you can get 8 free tickets, as well as the recognition that we give to all of our sponsors. The kids are involved. It's a partnership between the community, District Lions, and the parents of type 1 diabetes kids. We meet every other week at my house. The kids come too. Last year, they took over the event. They sold tickets, they served food, they raffled off all the auction items, they drew all the raffles and called all the names. They were awesome. Before the event, they made posters, they came to meetings, and they're doing that this year too. So without further ado, we're going to meet Ella McPartland and her mother Jen, and Ella Hansen. They're our junior committee members, and they're awesome. They're 12 and 13 years old. So thank you.
Thanks, Cheryl.
My name is Ella Hansen, and I would like to send a big thank you to the Easton Lions Club for their gold-level support of District 33's Summer Sunshine fundraiser. I've been attending Claire Barton Camp for the past 8 years, and as some of you may know, camp can be extremely expensive. But with the help of the Lions Club, I've been able to attend camp for 8 years straight. At camp, I get to meet some of my closest friends, feel a little bit normal for 2 weeks, being surrounded by people just like me, and having a better summer. Without the Lions, none of this would be possible. So thank you for everything you do for not only me, but for families around the world.
Hello Easton Lions, I'm Jen.
And I'm Ella.
And we just want to thank you so much for your gold level support of District 33's Summer of Sunshine fundraiser.
For the last few years, the Lions Club has been able to provide scholarships to help kids with type 1 diabetes attend summer camps.
As you may be aware, these camps are very costly, and in some cases they're 2 or 3 times the cost of a traditional summer camp. It isn't without good reason, because they provide the necessary medical care and monitoring 24/7. So as a parent, the peace of mind is totally worth it.
This is my 5th year attending Claire Barton Camp. I started as a day camper, and now I go for 2 weeks overnight. It is the only place where I'm just like everyone else, and they understand what I'm going through every day. Each year I look forward to seeing my camp friends and doing all camp stuff like hiking, swimming, and playing silly camp games.
So thank you again. It means a lot to us and all the other kids who have benefited from your generosity.
Thanks, Cheryl and the Diabetes Camp kids. That was inspiring. Thank you. I'd like to take a minute right now to talk about our bronze sponsors for this evening: Freitas Real Estate, White's Bakery, Easton Learning Adventures, SKM Closings, Attorney John Fiedler, Tudo Beni, Morse Insurance, Habig and Magoon Insurance, Roach Brothers, Nancy Sullivan, Mark Ingalls, David Mudd, Easton Grange, and David Carrister, Dale Carrister. Speaking of Dale Carrister, who has just sat down at stage 2, I think we're going to learn about the Yardley Wood Rink Arena and what they do for the town.
We are. So for those who don't know me, my name is Dale. I moved to Easton in 1993, joined the Lions Club in 2004. First and foremost, I just want to say I love Easton. I love this whole event. I love the Lions Club. I love all of the groups and everything that all these folks are doing. The scouts over here, my boys were all involved in that. We're here to talk a little bit about the rink, which in my view is a little bit of Norman Rockwell here in Easton. Some of you may have heard back in the fall there was some concern about whether we'd be able to keep the rink up and running, and the answer is yes. And the reason why the answer is yes is from folks like Ken Wood and Amy McManus and the Tucker family, who you'll meet in a few moments. That's why we continue to have the rink today. I'd like to ask Ken a little bit if you can talk about the history of the rink. When did it get started, and how it is that we're so fortunate to have such a treasure here in Easton?
The Yardley Road Rink was started roughly in the 1962s by Arthur Yardley, which was the president of the Easton Lions Club at that time. And he got I don't know if it was the Corps of Engineers or the National Guard unit from Taunton to dig it all out and work it. I guess it was the Corps of Engineers group. So then it was turned over to the Easton Town Recreation Department. And then if you old-timers that have been around town, you noticed all of a sudden the trees grew up in it, and it wasn't used when the area is not managed. And when I took over for Recreation Director shortly after Val Moscato passed in town, the Tucker family came down and they asked me, gee, could we do something at the rink? And they were excellent with that. When we started it up, the first building the Tucker family had put in on the rink, there was the shelter area. And the next thing, my wife used to run a little trailer down there for some of the old timers, used to see for refreshments. That's how we started. We didn't have a refreshment stand, and we did concerts and those type of things. And it's grown over the years.
So Ken, just tell a little bit about why the rink has been important. What do you think it brings to Easton? Why do we need to have a rink?
Well, the message I always got from the people that had partaken at the rink said it brings community together. And that's anything that I've done in town, I've always tried to bring community together.
And
so,
how about safety as well?
And the biggest thing that I always have said, if you bring, it saves one life, the whole rink has been worth it.
Thanks, Ken. And for those of you who don't know, I'm sure you already do, if you're on Easton Stories, you know who Amy is. So Amy is Easton Stories. She's the administrator of it. She has done a phenomenal job, but here for tonight, what she did was to singularly pull together a group to keep the rink alive for the benefit of Easton. Amy, if you can talk a little bit about how this came to your attention and what you did as a result when you found out there was some concern about whether we could keep the rink.
Well, it came to my attention via Facebook, of course. I had seen a post by Ken, and he expressed his concern over the rink not being able to go forward because the population that had been maintaining the rink was aging out, and it was becoming a big project for people to undertake. So I put out a plea on Facebook. The next thing you know, within 48 hours, people were sending in donations left, right, and center, and people were offering to volunteer. And the next thing you know, we were down there with Adam and his troop and all sorts of people. Cleaning up, and people donated a dumpster. Laurie was down there throwing stuff in the dumpster. We got the place all cleaned up and ready to go.
Yeah, and the Facebook group I checked today has 605 members on it, and they literally had hundreds within a matter of a week or two, showing how much this meant to the community to step up to the plate to help out and keep a treasure for the benefit of Easton. And they also raised about $4,000 for the benefit of the rink, so we're well funded and good to go going forward. And I just wanted to share a post. I was looking at my Facebook the other day, and there was a Kayleen who put a post on, and this was typical, anything we can do to help to close down the rink this season. Folks are offering to help, and Amy, you put together a group of about how many members of volunteers?
We have about 40 on our mailing list, but people show up just at random as well.
It's been huge. It's been a community event. I'd like to invite the Tuckers, Karen and Ken and Karina, if you can come up for a moment, please. And Lori will need you as well. Ken, if you could just talk a little bit about what the Richard Tucker, who he was and what he did at the rink.
Richard Tucker, all of a sudden I got a call from, I believe it was his mom, said that the family would like to do something down at the skating rink. And that was back in the 1970s. And they came down at the rink, and he had a brother that was in a wheelchair, I remember. And he was out there digging with everybody else. And the whole family was really terrific. The shelter that you see where they changed their skates was the building that he had got money for through the Eagle project. And they had put that in, as well as cleaning up the rink and putting a plastic liner in the bottom, which was like a plastic that you use for construction jobs. And then they put the clay sand mix over it, and it lasted for a couple of years. And then finally, when the town had leftover liner from the landfill, the company came through with the town, and they laid out all that plastic that you see down there now with a, I think it was a 4 or 5 mil liner.
So Ken, I'm going to have you, if you can hand the mic to Karen. And Karen, if you wouldn't mind, can you just tell me a little bit about your son, Richard? He did this as an Eagle Scout project, and you can tell me that he served in the U.S. Navy after that, correct?
Right.
And you hold the mic up nice and close to you.
Our son, Richard, we call him Chuck. When we first moved into town, I saw this square, and I said, that doesn't look like a cranberry bog. I didn't know what it was, and I dug up the sign that said Yardley Rink. And I said, Chuck, when you get to finishing your Boy Scouts and get to be an Eagle Scout, which he did, and there's a good project for you. And I think I put in about 200 hours of slave labor over there myself. And we got it completed, and just in time, because you have to have it done before your 18th birthday. And I think he had 2 weeks left to go, something silly like that. Anyways, we got it completed, and it seems to be a very useful thing for the town. Kids can't drown in it. And other towns saw that we had done that, and they started putting them in too. There's one over in West Bridgewater, and Stoughton has one, and it got to be quite a popular thing. Well, Chuck was an Eagle Scout, and he graduated from high school and got married, had a kid, and joined the Navy all in one spring. So he was a busy boy, and he served 4 tours overseas, two in Afghanistan, 2 in Iraq, and didn't quite make it home the last time. But I was not about to let the skating rink disappear. It was kind of a legacy for me. It was his big project, and so I jumped in as soon as I found out that they were thinking about letting it go. And I said, nope, we're going to go over and fix it. So me, my daughter, my husband, and my grandson, and a couple others in the family went over there and started picking up branches and leaf blowing, weed whacking, painting, putting on decals. I would have been over there this winter, but it was only open, what, 2 days this winter?
A little more than that.
Not a good winter for skating. We could have gotten more swimming over there.
So if you've been over to the rink and you've seen it, all the benches being painted and with the decals on there, that's due to Karen and Karina and Ken. And Lori and Amy have something they'd like to present to you in honor of your son. Lori?
So we want to keep his memory alive, and we want you to be able to honor him. And because I do have the means with the business that I run, I was able to create this plaque for you. And yep, you can take that. So this is what we'd like to dedicate to you. You could display it at the rink at your choice of location.
And
Okay?
can you read that out loud, Lori?
Well, it's in dedication, Richard Charles Tucker II. And from Eagle Scout to the U.S. Navy, your works will be cherished and remembered forever.
Thank
so,
you.
plus.
I'd like to just say one more thing. We've got a new sign down at the rink. You've probably seen it down there. I gave it a lot of thought. It used to say Yardley Wood Rink Recreation Sponsor, Lions Club Sponsor, but now it says Eastern Community Sponsorship. So it takes the whole community to make it happen. Thank you.
Absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. And folks, that Mr. Wood is a gentleman who's touched so many different aspects of our community, so many things in our Lions Club. different aspects of this town that make it a fantastic place to live. And Ken's involvement with a number of other people in our group have helped give life to different things going on in our community, like our food pantry, supporting different organizations. So the dollars that your donations, the dollars that your auction offers and bids cover, do a lot of things right back here in the community of Easton, Massachusetts. Very, very much appreciate that. 15 minutes from now, we will close this auction. We will wrap up those items that are have values of over $300 and up. We are flirting with $14,500 now in bids, looking at over 1,120 bids in so far. So there's a lot of activity there. And this may end up being the highest ticket item in the whole event. I can't tell you how cherished these slivered almonds are. Who'll give me $10 for this bag of almonds? I got a $10 bid over here. I think I've got enough $10 bids. I think I could go 15. Who's going to give me 15 on this? Doug, give me 20 here. I got 20 here. We're going to do more than 20? I hear $20 bid. Lynn's at 20. $30 bid, Lynn. $30 for the almonds. Thank you very much. You're going to let Lynn leave here with this bag of almonds for $30? $30 going once. 30 going twice. We've got a $40 bid there, Chief. Thank you so very much. Now, what's the fire department going to do with a bag of almonds? You can't. We can't let him walk out of here with these $40. Somebody's got to take some civic pride here and beat that $40 bid. Do I hear $45 out here? 40 going once. 45, Lynn. Oh, I think we've got a little challenge there, Chief. $45 bid to Lynn. We've got $45 going once. $50, Chief. Thank you so much. $50 for the almond. $50. Do I hear $55? $55? We've got a $50 bid over here. Do I hear 55? We have a $55 bid. Thank you very much. $55 bid. I hope you have insurance on your home. We've got a $55 bid. $60 bid. $60 bid. We've got a $60 bid right here. We're going to let it go for 60. I'd like to hear a $65 bid. We have a $65 bid. $65 bid for the almonds. That's about $1 a slice. Thank you very much. I want to hear a $70 bid out of this room, and I don't care where it comes from. Do I have a $70 bid from the room? We've got 65 going once. 65 twice. Sold to the gentleman for $65.
Okay, while John gets rid of his nuts, we're going to switch over to a completely different topic. With our last video of the evening, this is a group that wants to excel. It's the Easton Iron Tiger Robotics team. Oh, come on up. I didn't realize that you were here. Come on, I didn't see you. Nathan O'Reilly, who's the team captain, is going to introduce the video. It's 5 minutes on what the Iron Tiger Robotics team does.
Hi, everybody. So I'm Nathan O'Reilly. I'm from the Iron Tigers robotics team. We're a high school robotics team located out of Oliver Ames, and we're a student-led team. We compete every year with a company named FIRST, and FIRST is so we compete with FIRST. It's a competitive robotics team. We're given a challenge every year. The time frame is about 6 to 8 weeks usually, and what we're given is every year the challenge is different. So, for example, this year our robot, we have to collect 7-inch diameter foam balls, pick them up, and shoot them into a goal about 8 feet in the air. And then at the end, we're going to have to climb up, grab onto a bar, and have our 100-pound robot pull itself up to score points. So every year we're given a different challenge, and we work together as a team. We break off into different sub-teams. We have a design team that designs the robot on our computers and works together to create the foundations digitally of what our robot's going to look like. We have a build team that physically constructs the robot and puts it all together. And then lastly, we have our software team that writes code and tests it and debugs it to make sure that our robot functions properly. And what I enjoy about being on the team is being able to manage all of these positions and making sure that we can all work cohesively and all work together to meet a similar goal every year. Now, while we work at the high school to construct this robot every year, we also do a lot outside of that. And what we do outside of that is what we like to call spreading the ideals of FIRST. And that's making sure that everyone of all generations, of young kids to everybody above, is involved and interested in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. And we do that in a variety of ways. Has anyone ever been to the water fire events in Rhode Island? Yes, so we've brought our robot last summer twice over there and set up a booth and had our robot drive around. We would let a bunch of young kids and everybody of all ages drive around our robot and have some fun with it in that area. So we'd also be presenting there, and it would be a lot of fun. We did it twice this summer. Also, what we do in the summer is we run an event called Robo Clinic. Has anyone heard of Robo Clinic? Anyone have any kids? Right, so okay, a few of us. So Robo Clinic, it's an event. I ran it last summer, and I've been a part of it every summer. I've been in high school, and it's a one-week summer clinic where we get to work with kids grades 3 through 5, and we get to work with them on showing them this STEM involvement, science, technology, engineering, and math. They work together in teams, kind of like we do, and build these robots. So while we do great things building our robots as a team at the high school and competing against teams from all over the world, we also do great things in our community for helping out and trying to raise the involvement of STEM. And I think we'll see that here in this video. I'm Nathan O'Reilly. I'm the senior captain of the robotics team this year. So right now we're testing our shooter systems. Each year we have a different challenge, and this year the challenge involves shooting a ball with a 7-inch diameter, about 8 feet and 2 inches and a quarter up into the air. Test from various distances, we can see how that changes the trajectory of the ball and the placement and the overall distance to see if theoretically we'd be able to make our shots. So this is just a shooter. Now we also need to have a mechanism to pick up the ball and to store the ball. So first off, our robot needs to be able to drive around. We have an intake system it'll be a series of spinning wheels where we'll drive in and be able to pick up the ball. And then we have a storage system used with polyurethane tubing, kind of like an elevator. So the ball will go up the elevator, and we can store up to 5 of them and then shoot them all, with the shooter being right on top. The final aspect is a climbing mechanism powered by pneumatics. It'll be on the sides, and it'll be able to reach up, grab onto a bar, and then pull the whole robot itself up. Most of it gets done here. Currently we have 26 team members, which is all grades through freshman year through senior year, so 9 through 12. We do a lot of events for younger kids and trying to get them involved in the ideals of STEM, where you're using a lot of these engineering processes where they can be applicable to their futures as well. So I'd like to say that this has been a really great event to me. I'm really happy to be the captain this year, and I'm looking forward to a great season.
Hello, my name is Eric Durance, and along with Joe Marquis here, we're both electrical engineering mentors for the Iron Tigers 4176, accompanied by...
my name is Omar Ghani. I've been mentoring the team since the start of the team.
Just to be clear, the Iron Tigers are a student-led organization. That's why they don't call us teachers. We're mentors. We don't lead the kids, we help them and we answer their questions, and we give them guidance in the profession of engineering and STEM. What we're working on now is a prototype, and we, as the students, we're teaching them how to build a ball shooter.
I'm Abigail Holmes. I'm the build captain on the robotics team, and I'm a senior at OA. This is mostly where we fabricate a lot of our parts. For example, we use the saw to cut 80/20 or metal square tubing that we have stock of over here.
Hi, I'm Sarah Taylor, junior captain of the Iron Tigers robotics team. So this is where most of our robot build happens. We have all our tools in here, as you can see. We store all our stuff in here during the day while school's happening, and once school lets out, we all come down here, figure out what we're going to do for the day, and then either work in here, the computer lab, and sometimes we migrate out into the hallway because this room is smaller than it may seem.
Do you actually build the robots in this room?
Sometimes. Sometimes we build the robots in here. Once again, it's kind of small. We have a larger team then can reasonably and comfortably work in here. So we also sometimes will take the build aspect into the computer lab to have a bit more space to work.
But you build all of the computers, all of the robots from scratch?
Yes, pretty much from scratch. Once school lets out, we all come down here. It's just us creating a design to fulfill the year's challenge.
So right now we are in the computer lab. This is where a lot of our design happens. Our design mentor and / captain, Gabe, is not here today, but normally he's sitting right where Zyra's sitting and working on the CADing the robot. So it's like a 3D design of what we are going to be building as the build team.
My name is Zoe George. I'm the awards and communications captain for the team. We try to go for a variety of awards. Outside in the trophy case, we have won things such as the safety award, which I worked with Zyra on. There's the spirit award, which measures team spirit at events, so like cheering and what we wear.
It's really about the STEM. It's teaching science, technology, engineering, and mathematics to students that otherwise would not have the ability to learn that at a normal public high school. They don't teach this in their normal curriculum. So we're here to get them excited about the engineering sciences and to get them introduced to STEM as a whole. We have a very high success rate of students graduating all of our aims and going on to be engineers.
Thank you, Easton Lions Club.
Well, if you leave here hungry tonight, it's probably your own fault. Dale, would you mind asking the crew of Twin Catering to come out here?
The food looked really good. I don't know what it tasted like because I've been up here working, but it looked good. I don't know.
Yeah, we forgot to tell you you're on a diet. Okay, that's all right. Now, we do have a number of meals left. We've got 24 meals left that the crew at Twin Catering is going to plate for us. We're going to sell those at $10 a meal. They're going to be ready. Do I look shameless? I don't care. $10 is $10. It's going to be $240 that goes to help prevent blindness. Come on. They're going to be packaged for you, ready to take home and reheat to enjoy. And so in all honesty, see me up here this evening after the event, and we'll get it. So I'd like to ask the crew of Twin Catering, come out here. You folks didn't know that the production extended out here into the dining room. We very much enjoy what you did for us. The food was fantastic. I'm stealing the rest of the cheesecake. So thank you very much for supporting us. Good to have you folks here. Twin Catering, everybody. All right. Thank you very much, folks. Take a bow. We appreciate your help. And, well, we've only got one, so we have a twin.
Twins,
or
the
do we
twins
have
are
the
in the
twins?
back.
There they go. Yeah. Look how shy they are. Well, thanks again. Twin Catering, appreciate you guys. Awesome. Thanks so much. And our stomachs wouldn't be full and satisfied if it weren't for these folks, and this event would have not taken place if it weren't for these folks. Northeastern Savings Bank, you hear every time we come knocking, thank you so much for helping make possible what we do. Our premier sponsor, thank you so much, the folks at Northeastern Savings Bank. We've got a number of gold sponsors who are here to support us, give us seed money, give us money to help the sponsorships that make this a success. Doug King, thank you so much for your generosity. Avery Lee Williams, always got the checkbook ready to go, likes putting a lot of zeros on it. Thank you, Lee Williams. Rockland Trust was generous to us this year, came in as a gold sponsor, as was Vieira and Diaga Felito, and I apologize for mispronouncing that. We had sponsors of Travis Rhodes as well, and then we had a group of silver sponsors, Weikart Realty, our Easton Chamber of Commerce, Bank of Easton, the folks at Eastern Learning Adventures Preschool, and our bronze sponsors, Attorney John Fielder, White's Pastry, Morse Insurance Agency, Habig and Magoon Insurance Agency, Roach Brothers, Harbor One Bank, and the folks like this who came up and supported us and helped us make this all happen really played a big role. I want Dale Carrister to come up here. And I want Dale up here because As you look around the room, you see the vision that Dale and Gary had. Their vision grew out of the fact that we knew our auction format needed changing. We knew our auction had really matured to the point where it wasn't accomplishing our goals. And Dale and Gary said, well, let's do something that honors the people in Easton, that helps put a mirror to this town and illustrates what a great community this is. Maybe a little bit of self-promotion, because truthfully, Lions Club's not too good at that. We like what we do, we love contributing to this community, and we're so pleased and proud to have this event as a venue to say, look what a great community we live in, look what the organizations that we support do to contribute to that community. Let's raise a little bit of money and come check us out. Let me take this opportunity to turn it over to Madam President. Thank you, folks.
Thank you, John. So not knowing how this night was going to turn out, I can tell you that me personally, I am very amazed. This went off fantastic. The online auction, it started off a week ago, and I know there was several things that I wanted, and I got outbid, and I'd like to know who did that. Oh, it was you, Bill. Okay. So anyways, I just want to thank everybody. It's all about teamwork, and without these guys, this wouldn't have gone as smooth as it has. And I will keep it short because I know that somebody wants to be done on time. But anyways, thank you so much. As the president this year, I'm just blessed, and just the people involved, the community involved, and I just think it fills my heart. That's all I can say. So thank you very much.
And let me close by thanking everyone for coming, for sitting here for the 2 hours. I hope you got something out of it. I hope you learned about some of the organizations in town that do phenomenally good work, and I hope you found the whole thing inspiring. We do have 24 meals available. They're in the back, $10 each. So get them if you'd like. Aside from that, thank you very much for coming, and good evening.